What's up, all my fellow geeks and everyone watching this on YouTube? It's me, Maniac the Geek. I just got off work a few hours ago. I got done with my dinner and I just got out of the shower, as you can see by my hair. So I wanted to do something a little different today. If you guys are on my channel, if you guys subscribe to my channel or you guys watch my videos, you know that the majority of the stuff that I do is mainly with toys, action figures, toy hunts, collecting toys, reviewing toys, stuff like that. So I wanted to do something a little different because toys aren't my main focus. They're one of my main focuses, but I have other hobbies and other things that I collect, and one of the things that I collect that I'm really passionate about is comic books. As you can see right here, I have a bunch of my long boxes. There are some of my toys too. Those are actually my 40th anniversary Star Wars figures. So I just wanted to do something different and go more into the realm of comics today. And I thought, what better thing that I could do first is than show you my pull list of things that I got from my local comic shop this week. So it is actually Friday right now. It is the 22nd of September. So it's actually been 2 days since New Comic Book Day. If you don't know, if you don't collect comics regularly, or you don't know, anything about comics, Wednesdays are always New Comic Book Day. So you know how like movies come out usually on Fridays, and Blu-rays, movies usually, if you want to go buy them in the store, they usually come out on Tuesdays. Comics are the same way. It's usually every Wednesday the new issues of comics will come out. Some comics come out different days, but the majority of the big comics, Marvel, DC, Image, Dark Horse, what have you, those usually come out on Wednesdays. So today's Friday, so I thought I'd go over some of the comics that I picked up. And I'm going to just show you guys the comic that I picked up, tell you a little about it. And, I haven't read most of these, so I can't really give you, if it was a good comic or a bad comic or something like that. But I will just tell you my general impression, if I've read past issues or whatever. And then before I end the video, I'm going to go over some comics that I got that weren't new comics, that are older comics, and go over those with you and stuff like that. So first things first, this was given to me after I had already purchased my comics, my local comic shop. It's a small comic shop here in the town that I live in. It's the only comic shop here in the town that I live in. So it's the only one that I can go to. There's other ones around, not too far away, maybe 5, 10, 15 minutes. But this one's literally right down the street, a few blocks. So this is the one I go to. The guy that works there is really nice. And every time you get something, if he's got something to give away, he'll give it to you. So the first thing I got was the free issue of Batman Rebirth #1. So this Saturday, the 23rd, is National Batman Day. I'm not sure if it's national or it's just a comic book shop thing, but it's Batman Day. So go check out your local comic shops. Go check out a comic book shop. They should be having deals on Batman comics, Batman toys, Batman memorabilia, what have you. So go check that out. So this is the first issue of the Batman Rebirth. I have the actual issue of this. I actually have this, and I actually have the real issue and the variant cover issue. And this is the issue where Batman meets Gotham and Gotham Girl. I think those are their names. I can't remember. Are they in here at the end? I am Gotham, she is Gotham Girl. Yeah. So Gotham and Gotham Girl, and they're basically super powered individuals that he kind of takes under his wing. So that was the free thing that I got with my book. So it's actually really cool. I got that Rebirth issue when it first came out, so I really like it. But that'll just be a reader copy of something in one of my boxes. So the first actual issue that I got is Wonder Woman Conan. Sorry about the glare. Wonder Woman Conan #1. So this is a team up they're doing with Wonder Woman and Conan. I guess she's going back in time, or gets transported some way to Conan's realm, which is Hybolia. Is that how it's pronounced? I'm not sure. I'm a huge Conan the Barbarian fan. I should know what it's called, but I like when they do these kind of things. I like when they do crossover issues with two characters that otherwise wouldn't be interacting with each other. And I feel like if you're going to have Conan the Barbarian, one of the things you should have is Wonder Woman. You know, I think he's going to see that she's a great fighter like him. He's going to, you know, be interested in her probably in a Conan the Barbarian way, wanted to sleep with her or something. So I'm actually going to read that one for sure. Maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow. I'm not sure, but I'm really interested in that. I hope. I'm not sure how many issues it is. I want to say it's 5. I'm not sure, but I'm really interested in that one. So the next issue I got was Injustice 2 number 10. If you guys don't know, this is the comic book that's based off of the Injustice video game for PlayStation and Xbox One. This is the Injustice 2 video game. They had Injustice, now this is Injustice 2. I've really liked this comic book. I think I'm up to issue 3 or 4, I'm not sure, so I have a couple of issues to read. But it's really cool. It's a little different than your typical DC issue. Harley Quinn's actually teaming up with Batman. She's like kind of like his new Robin kind of thing, even though she's a little crazy. It even says right here, crazy in the head. So I really dig this. I like when they have a really good video game and they have a really good comic to go with it, you know, just to kind of flesh out the things that you don't have in the video game. Obviously, video games can't have everything, so a good comic book companion series, what have you, to go with it is always a good thing. So the next issue that I got for DC is Dark Knight's Metal Batman the Red Death. So I have been reading this. I haven't read this issue yet, but I have been reading the Dark Knight's Metal. I have the casting and the Forge, I think, are the two lead up to the Dark Knight Metal. My honest opinion of this so far is I don't know. That's that's as honest as I can get. It's a very interesting idea. Batman kind of opens a doorway to another realm, dimension, what have you, a dark universe, and every single Justice League member basically is a evil version of Batman. So in this issue, you have an evil Batman version of the Flash, and he's called the Red Death. I really love this cover. If you guys can see, obviously with the light hitting it, it's got that really reflective chrome cover. I think the Dark Knight's Metal main series, they have the lenticular covers, which they had with the Button. If you guys don't know what the Button is, it was the 4-issue series between Batman and the Flash, where they're investigating the comedian's Button from Watchmen. So obviously the Watchmen universe and the DC universe are going to come together. Later on this year, they're going to have a Superman story with Dr. Manhattan. It's going to be called Doomsday Clock. So I'm really looking forward to that. So I guess this is like their last big, event before that big event. But I'm really interested to read this one. I believe this is the first tie-in issue with one of the evil Batman characters. So I don't want to spoil any of the stuff that happened, but at the end of the last issue of Dark Knight's Metal, you kind of see all those characters and stuff like that. So it's interesting. I'm so kind of so far behind with the whole Batman mythos. I have the Rebirth issues, but I know that Rebirth is basically going the 10 years or whatever that the New 52 was going on. They kind of took that time away, and now they're kind of slowly bringing it back. So stuff that happened in the New 52 is also stuff that can happen in the Rebirth issues. So I didn't have every issue of the Rebirth, or of New 52, I'm sorry. So I don't really know all the little things that are going on. But it's interesting. It's we'll see how, if it gets good, if it gets bad, I don't know. So that was it for my DC books. So with my Marvel books, I got Star Wars Captain Phasma, #1. This actually didn't come out this week. This came out last week, I want to say, or maybe 2 weeks ago. But my comic shop didn't have any. Sometimes he has issues getting all of his boxes with all of his comics in there. So he didn't have this one, but luckily when I went on this past Wednesday, he did have it. And it does say $4.99 down here, but I got it for cover price because he was supposed to put one to the side for me. So he let me have a deal on that one. So that's number one. I'm really glad they're doing a Captain Phasma comic. I love what Marvel's doing with their Star Wars property when it comes to comics. They're taking each and every character that has somehow, made an impression on somebody, whether it be Lando Calrissian, Han Solo, Darth Maul. Now they're doing Mace Windu, and they're giving them their own series. And the best thing about it is it's limited. The Lando Calrissian, Chewbacca, C-3PO, all these characters have limited series, so you don't have to worry about buying 20 issues or 30 issues and being behind. They're usually 1 issue or 5 issues, and then you're done. So I believe this one is only going to be 5 issues, and this is supposed to be leading up to The Last Jedi. So I haven't read issue 1 yet, and I have issue 2 right here. This is the issue that came out this past Wednesday this week. So I'm not sure if this is supposed to be between Force Awakens and The Last Jedi, before The Force Awakens, kind of a little bit of both, but we'll see. I'm really excited to read that one. Next up is SpiderMan 2, number 3. So this issue came out this week. I have all 3 of these issues. I know this is the Miles Morales meets Peter Parker, and they kind of team up and do, the Spider-Man buddy thing. So I'm definitely going to check those out and read those. I haven't read them yet. I've just been working like crazy, guys, so I haven't been really sitting down and reading comics and everything. I've been buying them, and the best thing about comics is if you buy them, they sit there and you can read them whenever. If you wait a week, a day, 6 months, a year, they're just going to sit there and they're just going to be able to be read. So that's a good thing about that. So that was Spider-Man 2, number 3. The next one I got was Peter Parker, The Spectacular Spider-Man. This is issue number 4. So once again, I have all 4 issues of these. This is the latest issue they're up to is 4. This is the new... They have the Amazing Spider-Man, obviously, but this is the new series they're starting. I gotta be honest, I haven't read this one, but I love Spider-Man. He's my favorite character. I watched this video not too long ago, maybe 2 days ago, 3 days ago, I'm not sure. I don't know what's going on with Marvel, with comics. I don't want to get off on a tangent here, but with DC doing their Rebirth thing and with it being really popular, I know Marvel's going to be doing Legacy soon, and they're going to go back to their old numbering system. So Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man is no longer going to be issue 20 or 30 or whatever they're up to. It's going to be issue 700, 900, whatever issue they're up to on Amazing Spider-Man. I'm not sure. But I don't know what's going on with Marvel Comics. They have so many books every week and so many books every month. It's just hard to keep up. I wish they would kind of take a cue from DC. It's kind of, I'm not a more Marvel versus more DC, or more DC versus more Marvel, sorry. I grew up with more of the Marvel characters just because of the Saturday morning cartoons. Obviously, I watched the Batman show too, but the X-Men, Spider-Man, all the Marvel cartoons, and then obviously the Marvel movies, they're kicking ass, more than DC is. So I don't know what's going on with them in comics, but I just wish they would get their act together. I don't want to worry if I was like a completist and had to buy every Marvel book that came out a month, there'd be like 50 or 60 books. That's just too much. They need to shrink their thing down. So I don't know why they have to have multiple Spider-Man titles. I know it gets them more revenue and more people reading, but I don't know why they have to have multiple Spider-Man titles. So that was my little, talk about that. So my next book I got was Marvel Generations, Miss Marvel, and Miss Marvel, number 1. So they've been doing these, I believe these are just one-shots, and if you don't know what a one-shot is, it's basically just one issue. It's not, it says number 1 right here, but it's not going to be number 2, number 3, number 4, I don't believe. I believe these are just one-shots, and what these are basically doing is they're basically giving you a team up of characters that are either the same named character or characters that are very similar. They've done it with the two Hulks, the new Amadeus Cho Hulk and the old Bruce Banner Hulk. They did it with the two Iron Mans now, the Ricky Williams, I believe her name is, and Tony Stark. They did it with Wolverine and X-23. They did it with the Thor and the Jane Foster Thor. So, you know, they're kind of interesting. I like that they're doing that. I really like the Kamala Khan Miss Marvel. I like her in the cartoons. I like her in the books. I like that she's kind of like, she's like a female Spider-Man when Spider-Man first became Spider-Man. She's a teenager in high school, these powers, doesn't know what to do with them, is always trying to save the day, but then she's late for class. So it's always a thing you can relate to. So that was that one. Oh, sliding on me. So the next book I got was XMen Gold number 12. So I have all the issues of XMen Gold. I also have all the issues of XMen Blue. I believe the next issue comes out this coming Wednesday. But I really like these X-Men titles, XMen Gold, XMen Blue. Once again, Marvel's just splitting their teams into two separate books. I actually believe there's 3 books with X-Men, what is it, X-Men Prime or something like that. They have a new one. But I like these. I do like that they're splitting the teams. I would like it if this was the same title and just every issue was, one was gold, one was blue, one was gold, one was blue. So you didn't have to buy 2 separate books every 2 weeks or every week whenever they're coming out. I don't know if it's bi-weekly or weekly. I'm not sure. But I like the characters they have in this one. Kitty Pryde, Shadowcat, is the new leader of this team of X-Men. She's got Colossus and Nightcrawler and Old Man Logan and Storm. So a couple of the heavy hitters in the X-Men universe. But I've read like the first 4 or 5 issues of this. And actually I've probably read up to like 8. But I really like that. I like the blue. The blue one is like the more younger characters. The time displaced Scott Summers Cyclops and Jean Grey and I believe Hank McCoy Beast. So I'm really liking those issues. The next books I got, that was all my Marvel books. The next book I got is Gasolina number 1, and this is a Image book. This is from Image. I am really, really loving the smaller titles and the books they're putting out. They are doing a really good job with these books, with the writers they're getting and the artists they're getting and the stories they're telling. You know, they're doing sometimes better than DC and Marvel. You know, DC and Marvel's always obviously got the more recognizable characters, but I'm really liking these books, and I'm always picking up at least 1 or 2 of the smaller title books that are coming up, and this was one of them, Gasolina number 1. I have no idea what any of this is about. I can't wait to crack it open and see. The cover looks great. It's got some skeletons and stuff down there with them standing on top, so I can't wait to find out what that is, and hopefully it's a good read and I can keep going with the series. So the next one I got is Shirtless Bear Fighter number 4. This is what I'm talking about. This kind of stuff is exactly what I'm talking about. These are the risks, and these are the kind of books that smaller independent titles and smaller companies can put out. Whereas Marvel and DC has to put out Spider-Man books and has to put out Batman books and has to put out Avengers books and Justice League books. Smaller titles, and this is another Image book. This is another book from Image. They can do something as crazy and zany as a book called Shirtless Bear Fighter. And when this first came out, I remember knowing this book was coming out and wanting to get it. I didn't think anyone would like this book. I thought this thing would be like just sitting on the shelves and no one would get it. It became a hot item. It became the must-have book of the week that when it came out, and it's, you know, still a pretty popular book. And I think this is a 5-issue limited series, so it's like, once again, it's not going to set you back a ton of money to catch up if you don't have any issues. It's not going to, you know, affect you in any way with having to read 20 issues, 30 issues, and catching up. So go check it out. Get books like this. Have a good time. I haven't read any of these issues yet. I've heard they're hilarious. I've heard they're well written. well drawn. So I definitely got to check that out. So the last book on this week's pull list that I got is Dark Arc #1, and this is Aftershock Comics. So once again, it's a #1. I'm not one of those guys that goes into comic shop and because I see a #1 I have to have it. There's lots of books that have #1s on there, but I will pick up #1s just because of stuff like this. When it's #1, it's the easiest to start with #1. It's obviously the beginning. So I have no idea what this book's about. The cover looks great. Looks like some kind of demon devil character, but I can't wait to check it out. So that was my pull list from this week. Those are the books that I picked up. If you guys like these kind of videos and you guys want to see more of them, just let me know. I'll start trying to do them every week. I'll try to do them on Wednesdays. Sorry. I'll try to do them on Wednesdays when the actual books come out so you guys can actually see it. So if you guys want to go to your comic book shops on that actual Wednesday, if you guys want to pick up some of these issues, that way you can. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some books that I got recently. I didn't get these books from my local comic book shop. It's actually my mom goes on business to Denver quite often. The business that she works for, their main headquarters is in Denver. So I told her, I think maybe the last time she went or the time before that, that she's really close to Mile High Comics. If you guys don't know what Mile High Comics is a comic book shop in, I don't believe it's in the city of Denver proper, but it's right outside in one of the smaller city suburbs. But it's one of the biggest comic book shops in the country. It's, I think, 10,000, 15,000 square feet. They say something like they have 1 million issues of comics there or something like that. So I told her to go check it out. And the last time she went, these are the books that she got me. She knows nothing about comics. Everything she knows about comics, I tell her. So none of these comics, I believe, are anything special. I was just telling her stuff that I was interested in when I send her a text, and these are the books that she picked up for me. So I got Avengers #2. I believe this is a fifth volume. I'm not sure what. This is Avengers #2 from, it looks like 1996, I want to say. But it is cool because if you look right here, that's Rob Liefeld's name. And he's the guy that created Deadpool, and he's also the guy that drew Captain America. He kind of gets a little bit of flack for the way he draws Captain America with the big bulging chest, and he has a very tiny head, so it's very not to scale. So there was that one. This is Avengers #3. I don't know if she thought this was the issue that continued from that issue. I'm not sure. So this could be another volume, issue #3, but there's Avengers #3. That's Wonder Man on the cover. I told her that I was really getting into Doctor Strange, and I have after seeing the movie. I was never really a huge Doctor Strange fan. But after seeing the movie and investigating the character a little more, I said that I'm really getting into Doctor Strange, so she got me Doctor Strange Sorcerer Supreme #43. This is from 1992, so 90s book. She also got me Doctor Strange #71. This is from 1985, so Doctor Strange #71. She also got me Doctor Strange #1.mu. I believe this has something to do with the Monsters Unleashed. It says Monsters Unleashed right here. I believe this is a newer book on Doctor Strange, so I got to investigate that one. I told her one of the things that I'm really interested in is the 90s, early 90s. I think it started in 91 or 92. I'm not sure. Lineup of the original Guardians of the Galaxy. I've been trying to collect the original Guardians of the Galaxy. Not Star-Lord, not Rocket, not Gamora, not Drax. The original Guardians of the Galaxy. So she got me Guardians of the Galaxy number 29. This is from 1992. She got me Guardians of the Galaxy number 19. I should have had those in order. This is from 1991. So yeah, this is December 1991. And she got me Guardians of the Galaxy number 30. This is from 1992 also. I really like that cover. Is that supposed to be Vance Astro? I'm not sure. I see Starhawk on here. So I'm not sure if that's supposed to be Vance Astro. And another character that I'm really, really into that I really hope they make part of the Marvel Netflix television series of characters is Moon Knight. So she got me Moon Knight number 4. This is from 1980. This is from 1980, so a little before I was born. So Moon Knight number 4. I have the original Moon Knight number 1 in one of these boxes around here somewhere. He's not a character that's that hard to get a hold of. His earliest issues, they don't go for that much money. So another one she got me is Moon Knight number 1 of 4. So this has got to be a mini series they had of some kind. I haven't cracked it open and looked, but this is Moon Knight number 1 of 4, and this looks like it's from, I can't even tell. Based off the price, I'm going to say 90s, 92, 93. And the last book she got me is SpiderMan and the XMen number 5. This is a newer book. You can tell because it's got the Netflix Daredevil logo right there. I want you to check out the show. So this has got to be from the last year or two. So those are the books that she picked me up at Mile High Comics. She's gone to the main Mile High Comics. They have 3 locations in the Denver area. She's gone to the main one that's supposed to be like 10,000 square feet, and she's gone to one of the smaller ones. I've never been. It's one of the places I want to go to really bad, but she's been a couple of times, so she gets me some books there every time she goes. So the last book that I want to show you guys is a book that I actually picked up myself. It's not a new book. It's actually pretty old. I want to make sure I'm the right year. I want to say it's the 80s, 88, 87. But it is Batman number 427. So if any of you know what this issue is, this is the Death in the Family. This is part 2 of 4. This is the actual issue where Jason Todd, the second Robin that took over for Dick Grayson after he became Nightwing, this is the actual issue where he dies. So in this issue, the Joker beats him to death with a crowbar. Well, almost beats him to death. There's a bomb that he's trying to stop, but he can't get to it in time. And if you look right here, it says, "You will decide details on inside back cover." So when this issue came out, there was a 1-800 number that you could call if you wanted Jason Todd to live, and a 1-800 number you could call if you wanted Jason Todd to die. And the very next issue, issue 428, based off of the amount of calls they received, would be whether Jason Todd lived or died. So there's an urban legend or rumor that somebody had a auto-dialing phone that was able to auto-dial the phone number a bazillion times, because I believe this issue came out the next week or 2 weeks later or the next month or something like that. I'm not sure how the Batman issues were back then, if they were bi-weekly or monthly. I'm not sure. But supposedly there's an urban legend or, something that happened where a guy had an auto dialer and he was able to just have the same number call a bazillion times, and I think that the results were that they wanted him to die, and it was like by 28 votes. It was like a small margin. I think there was only like 2,000 or 3,000 calls, so it wasn't like there was like tens of thousands of calls, but it was about by like 20 or 30 calls that they wanted him to die. So in this issue, Robin actually dies, and it's the next issue that Batman actually finds his dead body, and then the fourth issue is him getting revenge on the Joker for doing it. So I saw this at one of the shops, not the shop that I go to, a different shop, and they had it for a really good price. It looks like it's in good enough condition. And I picked it up because I've seen this cover a million times in other people's collections and on websites and pictures, and I wanted to have one of my own. And one of the things I noticed when I picked it up that I didn't know about was, if you look right here on Robin's cape, you'll see a signature. Let me try to get it out of the glare. And that's Mike Mignola. So he was the guy that did the cover, and if any of you comic nerds know who Mike Mignola is, he created Hellboy. So obviously, before he created Hellboy, he was doing stuff for himself to, you know, fund himself and get his creations created. And one of the things he did was the cover to this issue. So I think that's really cool. It kind of ties in with the other comics and stuff like that. But yeah, so that's Batman number 427. So I've always loved mixing new with old in my collection. I'm not just a collector that collects old comics. I'm not just a collector that collects new comics. So I love collecting a little bit of everything. And those are issues that I want to collect. So that's going to do it for my first pull list video. Sorry if it was a little long. I'll try in the future to cut down on some of the talking and some of the time. But if you guys want to keep seeing these videos every week or every other week or whenever, just let me know. I'm going to try to incorporate more stuff about comics in my videos. I focus a lot on toys, a lot on toy hunting, which is a passion of mine and I love, but comics are also a huge passion of mine. Comics started before toys. Before I was collecting toys, I was collecting comics. So, as you can see, I have lovely long boxes all filled. I have 7 long boxes completely filled. I'm going to have to get more to fit more comics in. And I have all my issues from last week on my table in the living room. So that was the comics that came out this week. Next week when I get the next batch, I'll do another video. Like I said, hopefully I'll be able to do it on Wednesday. So if you guys watch it quick enough, you guys can go to your shop before they close if you want to pick up some of the books. And I'll try to read some of the books and actually give you a recommendation whether you should buy it or not. But yeah, that's going to be my my first pull list comic book video. So before you guys go, be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel. I'm getting pretty good number of subscribers for somebody that's been doing this for less than a year. So hopefully you guys will like this video and subscribe to my channel to see more of my toy hunts and comics and movie reviews. I'm going to try to start expanding my channel, guys, to do more things that I love. Playing video games, talking about video games, talking about stuff in the video game world, talking about movies, movie reviews, stuff like that. Just so you guys, it's not just a one-dimensional channel. I feel like if I just focus on toys, it's one-dimensional and it's not, you know, all-encompassing. I'm sure a lot of you geeks and nerds and sweaties out there like me and like toys, like comics, like movies, like everything. So I'll try to be expanding that and try to fit some more stuff in. But yeah, please like and subscribe to my channel. One last thing, if you guys out there or girls out there, if you guys have girls or you girls are watching this video and you guys want to learn anything about makeup or anything like that, check out my fiance's Instagram and her YouTube and her Facebook. She's Mrs. Maniac. That's her username is Mrs. Maniac. I'm Maniac the Geek and she's Mrs. Maniac. She's an amazing makeup artist. She's a horror freak, horror aficionado, knows everything about horror movies and, you know, anything horror. She's really getting into comics and really getting into stuff like that. She loves video games. So if you girls ever want any tips on how to do makeup, if you're not quite sure, you know, what, you know, you can use for yourself or anything like that, go check out her stuff. She's helped a lot of people. She's really a nice girl. She's not going to give you any shit about, you know, anything you don't know or anything you want to learn. She's going to be there to teach. She does tutorial videos. She does everything when it comes to makeup. I think if she could spend her whole life doing makeup, she would. So go check out her stuff. Once again, she's Mrs. Maniac. I'll leave a link in the description of this video for her, all of her stuff, so you guys can check her out. But thank you guys for watching. Until next week when I do this again, I'm Maniac the Geek, and good luck and good hunting. Alright, I'll see you guys later.